There's been a big unfortunate update for the Wyatts Sicks, so we'll see what that's about. We'll also check out what's happening with Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, and more. Starting things off with the latest developments for Charlotte Flair and her WrestleMania selection. Charlotte has now paid a visit to all three brands to meet with all three women's champions, but it looks like none of the champions impressed her enough to be selected on the spot. Charlotte said on the February 7th edition of Smackdown, Julia did not inspire her. She said that Rhea was a kid and that Tiffany was a child. So no one is really worthy enough of her time at this current moment. Tiffany Stratton eventually makes her way to the ring to make her case for why Charlotte should pick her. Tiffany admitted to being a big Charlotte Flair fan, but said that she's tired of the comparisons to Charlotte. Tiffany wanted to be selected so that she could prove to everyone that she's not the next Charlotte Flair, that she's simply the next Tiffany Stratton. Charlotte's character was very rude to Tiffany Stratton, dismissing her as a child, and saying that Tiffany would have to get down on her hands and knees and beg her in order to get selected. A big thing about this moment that we mentioned earlier in the week here on WrestlingWorldCC was the crowd reaction towards Charlotte Flair. We mentioned how the live crowd reactions to Charlotte Flair is most likely what's going to determine what version of Charlotte we see over these next few months. The crowd reaction to Charlotte at this specific edition of SmackDown was a bit mixed overall, but definitely was leaning more towards the negative side. And judging based off what we saw from Charlotte's character on the February 7th edition of SmackDown, she showed a lot of character traits that some fans may view as being unlikable. The character views herself as being above everyone, being in a whole other atmosphere, dismissing champions as children, telling people to get down and beg for it. Those are all character traits that can make a character be extremely difficult to get behind. So when it comes to Charlotte's character status right now at this given moment of time, it looks like you can label her as a tweener or neutral character. She doesn't really get along with other characters, no matter if they're babyface or heels. And like she even said in this exact promo, she doesn't care if the fans cheer or boo her, because either way, all she hears is money. So that's where the Charlotte Flair character's at. She's confident and truly believes that no one is on her level, so she treats everyone as being beneath her. Charlotte did take to her Instagram stories to post a story with Demi Lovato's song, What's Wrong with Being Confident, implying that she doesn't understand why being confident in herself makes her a villain. But going back to the character statuses, Tiffany Stratton herself is kind of in between being babyface and a heel right now. She has the fans behind her. The fans view her as a babyface, but Tiffany Stratton, the character, has yet to really lean into a babyface persona. So that's something else to monitor in the coming weeks of this feud. Tiffany Stratton may be the reigning champion, but it looks like they have a good opportunity there to still paint Tiffany as the underdog babyface champion. Charlotte thinks Tiffany is just a child. She doesn't think Tiffany is worthy enough of opponent for her, and maybe she thinks that she'll easily take that title off of Tiffany. So that sets up a major underdog narrative for Tiffany Stratton to prove to Charlotte and the entire world that her title reign was not a fluke because of a cash-in, and prove to everyone that she's a worthy champion by beating Charlotte inside the WrestleMania ring. So that seems like a potential narrative here for this WrestleMania program. Charlotte is walking in as the challenger, but sort of feels like the odds-on favorite to win the match. She's a former 14-time champion going up against a rookie champion in her second year on the main roster. All those signs point to Charlotte having an easy time dethroning Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffany Stratton who's walking into the match as champion, but feels like she's the underdog here. No one is expecting her to win, and they assume that Charlotte is winning her 15th world title in this spot. So you can argue that Tiffany Stratton has a big chip on her shoulder and trying to prove all the naysayers wrong by pulling off an upset win over Charlotte. So if it's going to be the narrative for Tiffany Stratton heading into WrestleMania 41, it will be nice to see her character just fully commit to the babyface side instead of hovering in between both babyface and heel. But Nia Jax eventually comes out and tells Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte to slow down because she has a rematch against Tiffany Stratton next week, where she plans on dethroning her, and how it would then become Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 41. Charlotte did not make her selection official, but did reveal that she found these current events on SmackDown to be interesting. So she plans on sticking around to see who walks out as champion between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Everyone is in agreement that Tiffany Stratton should easily retain against Nia Jax, and with Charlotte confirmed to be present and watching this matchup close and in person, it does make you wonder if Charlotte will change her mind about Tiffany Stratton. If Tiffany defeats Nia Jax cleanly in the middle of the ring and in an impressive manner, that right there could make Charlotte Flair decide that Tiffany may be worthy to face her at WrestleMania 41 after all. So the selection may be coming soon, and it looks like Charlotte will go with Tiffany Stratton, which as a result of that decision means that the Women's Elimination Chamber match will determine Rhea Ripley's WrestleMania opponent. Tiffany Stratton kept the jabs going towards Charlotte Flair on social media. Tiffany shared a photo of herself with the caption reading, quote, "Already in my prime, imagine where I'll be when I'm your age," end quote. Tiffany did not take Charlotte in the post, but judging by the context clues there in that picture, and considering the recent events of SmackDown, it sure looks like that was intended for Charlotte. It sounds like Tiffany's making a claim that she'll have an even more impressive career stat sheet than Charlotte Flair once she reaches Charlotte's age. So if that's the WrestleMania feud that WWE is going with, it should be an exciting feud. You got two strongly confident women facing off against each other, and dare say that it's a bit unpredictable. Will Tiffany truly retain over Charlotte, or will Charlotte put an end early to Tiffany's title reign? 2025 looks like it's going to be another very active year for Trish Stratus. Trish made her long-awaited return to the ring during the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble match, making her first appearance in the ring since fall 2023. Another thing you might have noticed was the entire new entrance video and graphics that Trish had at Royal Rumble. It was all themed for her 25th anniversary with WWE. Trish Stratus made her debut in 2000 and is celebrating 25 years of being a part of the company. And this celebration of her 25th year anniversary was not just for a one night at the Royal Rumble. A new report from Fightful Selects claims that Trish Stratus is set for a handful of appearances throughout 2025 to celebrate her big career milestone. There's currently rumblings of Trish appearing at the Elimination Chamber event, since it does take place in her hometown of Toronto. And if you go back and look at Trish's Royal Rumble elimination moment, it certainly seems like they were setting up for one of Trish's potential opponents in 2025, and that's Nia Jax. Nia eliminated Trish in the Royal Rumble and sent Trish packing her bags during that big return night. And the interesting thing to note here is that Trish Stratus has said multiple times in recent interviews that Nia Jax is one of her last few remaining dream opponents. Trish was very vocal about her desires to step in the ring with Nia Jax and just be ragdolled by her. That was Trish's own words, so she really wants to face Nia Jax. So considering that they did have Nia eliminate Trish, it looks like Trish very well could be getting her Nia Jax dream match in 2025. It was also reported this week that Bo Dallas is the Wyatts Sicks member that is dealing with an injury. It was reported that he's been fully removed from traveling on the road in recent months because of this injury, and there's no timetable for his return. However, WWE has began teasing some Wyatt antics involving Alexa Bliss. So hopefully the group's return is close as well. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.